I'm kind of in something.
Monica Lewinsky and Linda Tripp.
Tell me about him.
Their fates collided here in the halls of the Pentagon in 1996.
It's just he's unavailable.
Someone long distance. Someone from work. Someone important.
Linda Tripp's manipulation and betrayal of Monica Lewinsky by exposing her affair with President Bill Clinton led to one of the most explosive political scandals in our nation's history.
The president has felt obliged to say again that he did not have a sexual relationship with 21-year-old Monica Lewinsky.
And at the end of the day, loyalty for Linda is being loyal to herself. She was out to protect herself.
My calls with Monica.
Now the drama retold in the new FX series Impeachment, American Crime Story. The series goes behind the walls of the most powerful institution in the free world, exposing a forbidden affair and a string of lies.
I did not have sexual relations with that woman, Miss Lewinsky.
The scandal and impeachment that followed now told from the perspective of the women at the heart of it.
The relationship between Monica and Linda was the central relationship of the story.
President Clinton and a then 22-year-old intern, Lewinsky, depicted by actors Clive, Owen, and Beanie Feldstein.
Hello?
Hey.
Hi, handsome.
How was your first day?
Every depiction of Monica that I read, that I researched, and also Monica herself would say is she was a bundle of contradictions at the time. So she was incredibly confident, but very insecure, incredibly naive, and also very savvy.
I'd be fired.
A nearly unrecognizable Sarah Paulson plays Linda Tripp, gaining more than 30 pounds, wearing prosthetics. She was also one of the show's executive producers. The real-life Linda Tripp sat down with ABC News in 2001, defending her actions with Monica.
She essentially accosted me coming into the Pentagon and pulled me into the cafeteria and blurted it out. She said, I've been involved in an affair for a long time.
Why did you tape Monica Lewinsky?
I found myself in the personal crosshairs of the President of the United States. Remember, I was going into an under oath situation, as was he, as was Monica. They were both going to lie. They said, essentially, I'm going to lie, he's going to lie. You are going to be the one convicted for perjury, not us.
Lewinsky is also a producer on this series, seen here on the red carpet alongside the star-studded cast, who worked closely with her in retelling her personal story.
Monica was incredibly involved in the scripts. So by the time the scripts got to me, I knew that everything that Monica said was sanctioned or approved by Monica herself.
From the beginning, it was important to Monica that she not be perceived as a victim in the relationship with Bill Clinton. She was completely into him.
The team says it was Lewinsky who fought to include a racy moment when she says she flashed the president her thong.
For Monica wanting to include things like the thong, I think in part is just people know I'm involved. If we omit it, people will think it's because I don't want to own it.
Writer Sarah Burgess worked hand-in-hand with Lewinsky to write scenes authentic to her experiences.
One story Monica told me is that she and the president would intentionally kind of run into each other in the hallway, and then there's a chance it was a way to see each other during their workday, right? What it felt like in more positive moments of that relationship, the excitement of seeing someone that you're in a thing with.
Everybody that I spoke to who ever met him said that he was super charming and super warm, and it was just about finding that difference between the public figure and the private guy. And there is a world that we don't know, because we don't know what people said, behind closed doors.
I have a huge crush on you.
That power imbalance is portrayed as tender, but ultimately destructive.
Monica was very clear at the time and now that their relationship was consensual, but just because someone is consenting doesn't mean there's not an imbalance of power.
But Bill Clinton was not above the law. In 1994, Paula Jones, a former Arkansas state employee, accused Clinton of groping her while he was governor of Arkansas. That accusation would spark a lawsuit and eventually an FBI probe, which ultimately exposed his affair with Lewinsky. Clinton settled Jones's lawsuit with no admissions of wrongdoing.
I think history at the time, certainly 98, 99 got Monica completely and utterly devastatingly wrong. She was sort of a meal for society to feast upon.
That final takedown by the FBI, orchestrated by Linda Tripp, who'd spent months secretly recording their private phone calls.
She was talking to someone that she deeply, deeply trusted.
History remembers Tripp as a villain, committing an unthinkable act of betrayal, turning those secret tapes over to federal investigators.
My calls with Monica.
She was newly divorced, and her children were growing up and out of the house. One of them was, and she was miserable.
Loyalty is very important to me.
Paulson hopes to humanize Tripp.
There is a big part of Linda that is extraordinarily patriotic, and having worked at the White House, I think for her was the job of her life. And to be forsaken there, I think she never got over it. And what she did with that crushed feeling was something pretty despicable.
We try to walk in her shoes and understand why she betrayed Monica and why she did what she did, but her punishment was for people to make fun of her looks.
What did Vernon Jordan say?
He thinks that you should get liposuction too.
For John Goodman to play her on TV, a lot of the women in this story end up with plastic surgery. Paula Jones and Linda Tripp changed their faces.
Tripp spoke with ABC News about her decision to change her appearance.
I didn't realize how ugly I was till I saw the pictures after this story hit.
Do you think your physical appearance affected the way the public viewed you?
Yes. It was easier for the country to accept evil, manipulative, betray, villainous, ominous, odious, all those horrible words, if the photos match the description.
Linda Tripp passed away in 2020 of pancreatic cancer.
And the one kind of remarkable thing about Linda by the end of her life is that she didn't seem to have much regret. To find yourself 20 years down the line and to look back over your shoulder in the rearview mirror and not question your behavior is the only part of it that I really kind of can't come to terms with about Linda.
Now 48 years old, Monica has emerged in recent years giving a 2015 TED Talk on shame.
I went from being a completely private figure to a publicly humiliated one worldwide.
And becoming an activist against bullying.
And in the case of Monica, the whole world is full of possibilities when she begins the story, and by the end of this episode of her life, every door in the world is closed to her for the next 20 years.
Our thanks to Juju. American Crime Story airs Tuesday nights on FX, which is owned by our parent company, Walt Disney.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.